Hi friends, so here I'm going to show you how to use a protractor with the online version. So I've drawn an angle, and what we're going to do is we click our little protractor tool right here, and if you see, you have your middle button. This one will help us if we wanted to draw one. We can move this back and forth. So for example, this angle is a 10 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree, 40 degree, 50 degree, 60 degree, and so forth. And then we can go all the way over here. It doesn't say it, but this is 180. And then it doesn't say it on this side either, but this side is 0. So then we can also use this to turn it. So this is we're going to be using to turn it. So we're going to measure this angle down here. So I'm going to drag my protractor down over here. And the thing to remember is this black line right here needs to line up with the straight line down here. It's also important that this circle is on the vertex, the point of the angle. So if it's over here, it doesn't line up right. So that little circle has to be right there on that vertex. So then we can see that this angle is about 110. It's probably 111. So that's how we use and let's go ahead and let me draw another angle. We've got our flat line, and then let's make it an acute angle. Okay, so then I'm going to come back here, and let's go ahead and bring it over. Remember to line that point up with the vertex. Make sure it's straight. So now we follow this line up, and it's about 22 degrees. 22 degrees. So when you're using this, you follow your line up here to see what it is. Now let's say that I wanted to draw an angle. And let's see, I'm going to take this and I'm going to, and you can see, do you see how the little angle reader changes over there on the side? So I want to draw a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to take my drawing tool and I'm going to, whoops, it's not going to let me. Let me take my straight line. I guess I can't have both out right now. There. Well, I guess this one won't work very well for drawing them. This one's good for measuring them. So you draw one, then you measure one. But if I said draw, so then we've got our right angle here. So, but there is another one that we're going to use to where I will tell you what to draw, and you have to use the protractor to help you draw that angle. Alright, so this is one of your assignments. It's the IXL, and this is where we're going to use to draw it. So it has the protractor here, and this is a protractor that has both the numbers on the outside and on the inside going the other way. So for example, if it says make 110, and I put it here, but then I think to myself, I say, wait a second, 110 is bigger than 90. This doesn't look bigger than 90. So then that tells me that I shouldn't use my little numbers on the inside. I need to use my numbers on the outside. So here's 90 degrees, and there's 110. That makes way more sense than if I use this 110 because 110 is an obtuse angle, and this is definitely not an obtuse angle. So when you are deciding which of the numbers to use, you've got to think of what we've learned. 90 degrees, and if it's more than 90 degrees, you need to have an obtuse angle. And if it's less than 90 degrees, then you have to have an acute angle. So for this one, to make 110, we'd bring it over here and we hit submit. Great job. And now it says make 115. So you would do the same thing. You would come over here, and here's 110, and here's 120. But do you see all these little lines? Those count as 1. So halfway between, and you can see the 5 line is just a little bit bigger, so that'd be 110. And it's hard to even move it there. So there's 115 right between it. All right, the other one that you are going to be practicing, let me get there really fast, and it will be assigned on that day, is called, it's down here, measure angles with a protractor. So this is your other assignment. So it's asking you, is this acute, right, or obtuse? And then this one's bigger than 90, so then it would have to be obtuse. Okay, same here. It's asking you, and that one's a right angle. And then you keep on answering, deciding what kind of angle those are. And now look at this one. It doesn't line up on the 0. So you have to count in between. It's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Well, 60 is less than 90, so it has to be acute. All right, so that's one of your other assignments. And then one last one. And remember, this is going to show up on your stars. This is the teacher version, so yours will show up under your stars. Measure angles on a circle. This is one where you can practice with all of these. So each of these lines, it says, are 15 degrees apart. So that means from here to here is 15, from here to here is 15, and here to here is 15. This one's a little bit trickier. You're going to have to be adding lots of 15s. So this one's more just a practice of trying to read the angles on the circle, but you have to pay attention to with 15 degrees apart. There's always learn with an example, and it shows you how you can learn, and you can read here for a little bit. So that's another thing that you can do when you see your learn with an example. So we're just going to be practicing with our protractors and measuring and drawing some angles.